Hello friends, my name is RagePanda1 and today we're going to talk about the new patch, which I wanted to make a Raid Shadow Legends video today because it's been a while, but I feel like this is more important and more what my channel is about. So we have available now the Bloodstorm Legend. She looks pretty cool and she might not be wildly overpowered, but it depends on some things. Number one, if you have to put in a Daevala to link with her, and therefore you cannot have female Daevala and this person on the same team, she's totally fine and there's nothing to worry about. If you can put in a Fulgur and still have her on a team with a female Daevala, then she's broken and bad for the game, and pay-to-win people are going to have a lot of fun. Let's talk about why. First of all, her ultimate is not that bad. It's pretty fine. She dashes through enemies, slashing them for 3 seconds. I assume that means she's going to attack 3 times. Each slash deals damage equal to 300% of the champion's strength, and the chance of landing a crit is increased by 20%. If there is no targeted enemy, 300 energy will be returned when the slash ends. That just is protection against the ultimate failing. This ultimate does quite a bit of damage, but it's mostly single target damage. It's not doing that to everybody on the screen. The crit chance is also pretty nice for her, but this is a nice balance of power for this type of champion that requires a lot of work and a lot of money. We'll get into that later. I don't think that's overpowered. Her active skill, the champion flaps their wings and throws thunder feathers to attack all enemies within a fan-shaped area. I guess they ran out of pie. And also, a fan-shaped area is another weird one. I get it. I know what you're saying to me, but some fans are circles. I think that's why the industry standard is a cone attack, even though a cone is generally representing a 3D space. Anyway, it's going to do 150% of strength twice, and then a bigger attack that knocks back nearby enemies and deals 200% of the champion's strength. This is very strong for an active skill. Very, very strong for an active skill. This does a lot of damage to a lot of people. She has high strength to begin with. I think that this is more overtuned than her ultimate by a fair amount, but not nearly as overtuned as her passive. Now, they don't have any timers for any of this stuff. They're not telling me how long it lasts. So do we just assume it lasts forever? And if it does, then it's wildly overpowered. If it only lasts for a short time, then maybe it's fine. But they don't say that. So maybe say what you mean. Thanks. When the champion enters the battlefield, white feathers will start to fall from above. All enemies touched by the feathers will have their attack speed reduced by 40%. Now keep in mind, when you reduce somebody's attack speed by 40%, you're also reducing most of their energy gain by 40%, because most people are getting their energy for their ultimate by doing basic attacks. So that's very strong, and if it lasts the entire round, it is wildly overpowered and not okay. The feathers will also shield the champion, reducing their skill damage taken by 30%. That part of it is fine. After the champion uses their ultimate skill for the first time, the feathers will go berserk, reducing the enemy's energy gain rate by 30%. So they're already losing 40%, and then they're gonna lose 30% of the remaining 60%. So people are gonna be having a hard time with energy just having her on the team. Also, the wording of this last sentence leads me to believe that the white feathers will continue to fall throughout the battle, meaning that this attack speed is likely on a timer and it will be refreshed when they get hit with new feathers. That's how I'm reading it right now, but who knows? That still puts it in the territory of being wildly overpowered. Unless when they say that it's going to go berserk, it loses all of its other features and the attack speed and the skill damage reduction all goes away and you're just getting energy gain rate reduction. Maybe then it's okay and it's just like stronger than it should be, but she's a champion that deserves it. But we'll just have to see how it plays out, which we will likely never do because nobody's going to have this champion. So you can rest assured that this is not going to affect the game that much because people are not going to have this champion. Not now anyway. Maybe in a couple of guild conquests you'll start seeing her rolling around. If you have to pair her with a Daevala, she's never going to be an issue because you're not going to take her over a female Daevala unless they do something drastic with the female Daevala. If you can link her up to a female Fulgur or something like that and still have her on the team with the female Daevala, she's going to be a problem, and then all of the most spendy people will just win, because I think that this kid is strong enough that if she's on a team with a female Daevala, you really don't stand much of a chance. If the person knows what they're doing at all with traits, you're just going to have a bad time. But again, that's not much of a concern because you have to be really good at the game and really wealthy to be able to have her, at least right now, because they have these packs. Now, it takes 20,000 of these little doubloons here to be able to purchase the Bloodcraft shards to make the legend in the first place. If you spend 1,000 American dollars, you can get 3/4 of that number. So realistically, if you spend 1,000 American dollars, you're not even going to get close to having this champion. And then these limits are up. So first of all, if you have the disposable income to spend your money on stuff like this, then that's fine, and that's up to you. And also, I don't think it's worth it. I'll just say, I want to be nice here. I don't want to be a jerk to random people that I don't know. I don't know your situation. Maybe this is worth it to you. But when you buy stuff like this, you send a message to these companies that this is okay. And just because other companies are succeeding and other fan bases are idiots and buy into this stuff, it doesn't mean that you have to. And if you refuse to buy this, even if you can, then the next time it comes around, it won't be as expensive because they're doing this to make money. And if you don't give them the money, they won't do it. So if you're one of the people who just happens to be a movie star and you don't mind shelling out $1,000 to not even get the thing, then just don't for the rest of us. Because when we don't buy into this crap, they don't do it again. And I hear all the time from people telling me that, well, that's just the way gacha games are, and that's just the way phone games are, and that's the way it's always going to be. It doesn't have to always be that way. Just because somebody is already abusing you doesn't mean that you should say, well, in this city, we just abuse our spouses and that's the way it is. And there's no reason to try to change it because everybody's going to be abusive. Does that sound disgusting and gross to you? Because it sounds disgusting and gross to me. So don't let it happen to you here with these abusive prices. We are the fan base for this game. We decide what happens on this game. So don't buy the stupid thing and they won't do it again. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk about how to be a smart consumer. Also, Goat Games, you're so dumb. Whoever is running your marketing should be fired. You should fire the person who is setting these prices and these deals. They should not have a job. They are ruining your game. Whenever we see stuff like this, we just think that you're a greedy piece of crap and it's really hard to want to play your game when we see that you want us to spend $1,000 to literally not even get anything but some gold and some legendary books that most of us have too many of anyway. It is such a waste of money and you should know that and you should be ashamed. Thanks. Alright, now that I went hard on him a little bit, let's talk about a couple of good things with the patch. Number one, we have our new male Aeson model. This guy's got a ginger beard because he is part Trevain, but other than that, that's the only change that happens with this hybrid. He looks good. It looks sharp, it looks detailed. I'm a fan. Male Karguk no longer has a baguette, now he has a nice Cuban cigar, and he looks really cool, really strong. Really weird that his nipple is the same color as the rest of his skin. Usually the skin around the areola is a little darker. For a little biological lesson. But, you know, good artwork, good models. Female Karguk I'm less impressed with. She kind of looks like an action figure that was just snapped together, and the animation's a little choppy, especially when it's cycling back through. But, you know, she's got the same cigar. Her armor does look really sharp and nice. I think it's mostly this connection here with the waist just doesn't look very good. She's getting a little more exposed than probably we would like. Or maybe some people really like that. I don't know. She's an orc, you monsters. But I think this one could use a little more work, particularly with the animation. You fix that, she'll be fine. I was under the impression they said they were going to change something about the female Daevala ultimate skill, particularly in the description. I don't see any change here, but I haven't read hers for a while. I thought it was going to have to do with splitting damage when there's a bunch of people around. Did not see that change. But we do have a very good change, which is more of a clarification. And this is something I asked for less than a week ago, and they did it so fast, and I'm really happy. The female luxuriance passive now states any skill cast on an enemy will reduce the energy they gain by 50% for 2 seconds. As I said in my video about her, if it's just for her, it's garbage. If it's for the whole team, which it now is, then it's incredibly good. It is so good. That is a huge passive. And I think that it's a great thing that they actually made it this way, whether they changed it or just changed the words. I'm glad that it's this way. That is an amazing change and something we can be happy about. And the other thing we can be happy about is that we're probably very rarely ever going to see that Bloodcraft legend used in combat. If you like hearing about all the changes of the game through my opinion and my experience, then go ahead and subscribe to the channel and throw me a like, because I really do appreciate it and it helps out the channel a lot, as I'm sure you know because you've been to YouTube before. Before I put an end to the video, I've been dying to update you guys on my main account and on Raid Shadow Legends and on all this other stuff, but there's so much to make videos about these days. Haven't been able to get to it, so mostly what I've been up to here on my main account is getting the female luxuriant up to mythic, which I have done, and then I was using these lockets that are a gamble how much they're gonna give. I always use them slowly to make sure that I know what I'm getting, and it just wasn't updating, so I finally clicked it over to mythic, and then it updated with 800 extra intimacy, which wasted more than 1200 diamonds just to put in extra intimacy to a person that I am never going to take to level 22 traits. So that's very annoying, and I want my diamonds back. Can't complain too much because I do have the creator diamonds that I get on a weekly basis on this account, so I guess it's fine. Aside from that, I'm still focusing on intimacy. That's still my goal. I have all of my district champions done. I can produce mythics and I can get my districts the way I want to get them. Now I'm working on level 22 traits. Yes, it has been this long that I've waited to get my traits up to level 22. Partially, I didn't need to make all of the people mythic that I did. I should have gotten my districts in order right away, and I think that you should get your district champions all to mythic before you go for level 22 traits. You're just going to get more out of it. The way it stands now, after 10,000, I'm getting level 19 traits, and as I make this gap of 10,000 close, I'll slowly get higher and higher level traits. It doesn't just go from 18 to 22. You hit certain checkpoints that it does not indicate here. I wish that it did, and I wish it was more clear what it was doing so that newer players didn't need to see a video or search the internet to find out what the heck is going on with that. I don't know the actual cutoffs because it's not important to me. And then I've also been stockpiling warriors because we do know that the next clan that's coming out is the Naga. You can see the companion is already here. They are not in the renowned champion section from what I saw, but they should be coming soon, for sure by the end of the month, and I think we're all excited for that, hoping that they're going to be really good. So that was a lot to cover in this video. I know there was positivity and negativity, and that's the way it's going to stay on this channel. I do enjoy working with the people that I work with at Goat Games to share information with you guys and get my free diamonds every week. But you know what? I'm not going to bend the knee and do whatever they want me to do and say only the things they want me to say. Not that they've asked me to say anything. In fact, they've encouraged me to just be honest and, in fact, use the term brutally honest. So I appreciate them giving me free reign. I think I'm taking advantage of it. But for now, I'd like to thank you for watching the video. I have been RagePanda1, and I will see you in the next one.